is UBarby News, and this broadcast is about how prison officials show up in lawsuit after lawsuit without ever being fired or charged.
The Department of Justice wants to know if St. Clair County prison officials are doing enough to protect inmates.
The DOJ filed a statement of interest. It's in connection to a lawsuit filed on behalf of some of the inmates. Now, the suit claims prisoner violence and sexual assault are common and that correctional officers regularly use excessive force. Well, the statement explains under the 8th Amendment, prison officials must respond reasonably when they know people in their custody face a substantial risk of serious harm. The department went on to say a person's constitutional rights do not go away when they're sentenced to prison. The Alabama Department of Corrections will file a response later this month.
Federal court records show Carl Sanders, the warden I personally spoke to at St.Clair Correctional Facility, connected to 85 different lawsuits, spanning across multiple locations, including William E. Donaldson and St. Clair, dating all the way back to 2005, where he served as a captain at the time. Now here's what makes it worse. Lawsuits involving Carl Sanders span years before, during, and after cases brought by the Department of Justice and the Equal Justice Initiative. The lawsuit include claims that he encouraged or influenced violence, failed to protect incarcerated people, and allowed unsafe prison conditions. Carl Sanders is quoted in federal court records saying, "If you don't have a knife, I'll give you one." And this was a response to an inmate reporting threats and harassment before being attacked with a metal lock. There's another quote of him saying, "Get a knife and do something about it." In another court records, it states Sanders responding to safety concerns by saying, "Kill him or kill yourself. If you really don't like him, stab him." In a lawsuit from William E. Donaldson, a man reported being sexually assaulted by a baton and beaten while restrained by officers. The filing alleges Lieutenant Carl Sanders, a high-ranking officer, was present and struck him in the face, breaking his jaw. Court record documents lasting injuries and the men not being deceased. Another inmate from William E. Donaldson filed a lawsuit against Lieutenant Carl Sanders. He states that after being removed from the dining room, Lieutenant Carl Sanders was called to the scene. The filing alleges Sanders cursed the man, ordered him handcuffed, slapped him repeatedly, rupturing his eardrum, threw him face first onto the floor while other officers witnessed. An inmate from St. Clair Correctional Facility filed a lawsuit against Lieutenant Carl Sanders. In the lawsuit, it alleges that Carl Sanders ordered him handcuffed through the tray slot and the cuffs were applied too tightly, and that Sanders struck him in his head, causing his head to hit a steel wall. After years of lawsuits involving inmates with serious injuries and deaths, Carl Sanders retired in 2015.
Carl Sanders, now a retired captain who worked at the St. Clair prison.
He was not fired, he was not charged. He was protected by qualified immunity, which blocks a lawsuit unless the same wrongdoing has already been ruled illegal before. After retirement, Carl Sanders returned to the Alabama prison system, where he was later promoted to Warden I at St. Clair Correctional, where my brother Imonte Cofield Sr. was later killed. Promoting someone with this record to the highest ranking in the prison did not protect my brother. It does not protect future inmates or current inmates, and it makes the system more dangerous. These are the records, and this is UBarby News.